it's fake made in China. It's made in China in Beau Rivage Hotel in Geneva. We're the only ones doing that.
Robin, do you want to hear something totally horrifying?
I want to hear.
I've never held an Atelier Wen in my hands.
Really?
Never.
Well, it's time for a change, I guess.
It is.
And I'm going to show you like a very unique one.
I've come to Paris to do this. It's time to stop teasing me.
Yep.
We've talked about your brand for 20 minutes and I don't have one in my hand.
No, I'm going to show you one which is actually a little different.
Okay.
It's one of the 3 only Atelier Wen that are not made in China. It's fake made.
3 only?
Yeah, 3 only. It's fake made in China. It's made in China in Beau Rivage Hotel in Geneva. We're the only ones doing that. We want to show that it's possible.
I'm taking off my very Parisian Baltic Peter Jones order.
I think you'll need to remove some plastics, but I'm going to help you.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Look at the fineness of that hand guilloché.
So the funny thing about that watch is that the guilloché dial was made in the Beau Rivage Hotel in Geneva by Master Cheng, who was there for Watches and Wonders. So we flew him from his countryside to Geneva, and for the week he made 3 dials, which we assembled. Actually assembled in the old town of Geneva by someone called Fabiano, who has a atelier de docteur, it's a watchmaking repair shop.
There's something so lucid about this combination. You have this printed logo and logo text on the crystal, and then you have this very, very bright and lucid silver dial. What is that material of the dial?
It's actually silver. So the funny thing is, because he made the dial there, we couldn't plate it because usually our dials are colored and PVD plated. So we had to rethink. It's all raw materials. So the base is raw brass. The chapter ring is also raw brass. This is raw silver, and that hasn't been plated. We couldn't also do the pad printing on the dial, so I decided to pre-print the logo on the crystal. It's actually the only Atelier Wen with the logo on the crystal.
Wow.
You really get a piece unique, if I may.
This is super exciting. This feeling never goes away of a new and exceptional watch. We have blued hands, you've got a blued seconds hand, and there's something industrial but also very luxurious because the chapter ring is this golden color, but that's just brass. That's just raw brass, and then you have raw silver on the dial. And the indices are also silver?
No, indices are brass, and they were plated beforehand.
Rhodium plated.
Yes, exactly.
And then you have this quite high polished bezel.
Yep.
That seems to have a scallop, or how do you describe this?
Yeah, exactly. It's I don't know, I would say a convex shape. The idea is that, the case is super angular, it's a bit aggressive, so for the bezel, I wanted something that would just soften the watch. So this kind of very smooth shape, super polished, very soft, very.
And it distorts
welcoming.
the light instead of giving you a straight.
Yeah.
If you own a Royal Oak, for example, that facet or that angled bezel side is super mirror polished, and you often can catch yourself in it. Whereas this warps the light.
No, this one is a bit contrasting with the rest, but I guess balancing. And then you have something very funny on the case back. So usually we put numbers on it, but here it says crafted in China, which has been crossed, and then there's Geneva. Initially I wanted to put Swiss made, but a bunch of friends told me it's probably a wrong idea.
Don't risk it.
So I had to rethink.
Don't poke the Swiss bear.
Yeah.
And then you have a black oscillating mass that can close the dragon's mouth. So there's a dragon engraved on the case back, and then you have this black oscillating mass that sort of flips around like the dragon's mouth.
Yeah, so then it looks like it's laughing, actually.
Laughing.
The idea behind that face, so it's actually a stone lion. So this is what you see at the entrance of temples and whatnot, because there's a bunch of architectural references in the watch where we need to put what's at the entrance usually. It's a bit more playful on the case back.
And then we have a case here that has a nice polished bevel along the edge of the case shape, and then a satin brushed case in general. Obviously the case is reminiscent of Agenta design, would you say? Is it fair to say?
I mean, I would say yes and no. I would say it's like it's very 70s. You look at what was done in the 70s.
It has the ears on both sides, but they're exactly proportionate, which is a little different.
Yeah, it's a little different. I think it's like when we started that project, I mean, we wanted to do like an integrated bracelet watch because, okay, we saw also, you know, that's the trend. We wanted this 70s look, that's the trend, but then like a lot of elements, we try to like link them back to Chinese culture. So if you allow me 1 sec, we proportion the ears to look like a bit like a pagoda roof, like, so you can see it like on both sides.
The more I look at it, the less it appears to have that Nautilus profile, because if it is actually quite symmetrically the shape.
Yeah, no, it is. Whereas the Nautilus is a bit more like leaning on one end than the other.
It's not proportionate.
If you look at the hexagon, it's like an imperfect hexagon, which you see in a lot of buildings as like window shapes. So we thought, that could be nice to like continue that over here. And the one cool thing that we're really proud of is like how we build the dial. It's like everything is sort of like being imbricked into like another element, and actually that echoes an ancient building principle which is called Sunmao, where they would make like temples and whatnot using like no nail and glue, but only like mortise and tenon, and so here you can see actually the indexes, they go into the guilloché part of the dial. The ring, it locks into the indexes, and everything rests on the base underneath. So we thought to emulate that building principle into how we build the dial.
And that chapter ring seems to sort of intersect the indices, because they continue at the outer edge of the dial.
So it locks into the indexes. So the indexes, they're exactly shaped like a mortise. So you have a slot for the ring to come and lock into there. I'm sort of like heartbroken to have only made like 3 of them.
3 in existence with this crossed out. Thank you so much.
Actually, with that one dial, there's only one. So he made 3 different dials.
Amazing.
And it's really a unique one.
I love it. And I love the playfulness of crossing out China and Geneva, leaving that. This is a great honour to take this, and to have held my first piece, and for it to be so unique and so idiosyncratic. It has so many unusual elements that all make me kind of smile, which
nice.
is
that's the goal. That's really the idea behind that was to say that location by itself doesn't mean too much, because what matters is really the person who's made it, and that one person who made the watch the week before was in China, this week was in Switzerland, and still it's the same product, and that's the message we wanted to convey through this fun watch. So it's meant to make people smile. I really love the Mother satirical watches. I think that they are really fun, and I wanted to have my own satirical watch for once. There you have it.
You have made me smile, and frankly, it's this is a level that I was probably not prepared for quite this level.
Nice.
Of finishing, thoughtfulness, and then the comical touches. That's just a huge bonus.
Glad you like it.
Thank you so much, man.
My pleasure.
Amazing.